Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel for day 1171 of our daily content grind. Welcome to a new Monday. Monday means it's news roundup, and we actually have some news this week. Remember, last week it was a bit of a slog, because Hasbro didn't do anything official all week. And this week I was a little bit terrified because I thought we might have to spend half the news roundup talking about the whole no longer funding movies thing, but this has been a decent week. We did the movie thing before. You can go watch my video on that. And we're just going to focus on all the good news stuff that popped up, like the first shot of a prototype of our upcoming Age of the Primes Armada Red Alert. So the original Autobot trio from the show will be complete at the very least. And it's looking about, frankly, exactly what I expected so far. Now, of course, it's just a rough prototype, no colors on it whatsoever. I'm not happy with the amount of translucent plastic. I see why they did it that way, but this is one of those cases where it's like, is it really more economical to make one huge piece of clear plastic and paint over the parts you don't need? Is that really the best solution? It's weird how the economics work. But point being, he looks about what you would expect out of a modern one. He's got a lot of 5mm ports all over, including an interestingly placed one on the chest, which I suppose is replacing the Minicon port that activated his disc launch gimmick, if I can remember that correctly. Speaking of, he does have a Minicon port on the back of that translucent hunk on top of him, and it looks like there's enough flat clearance all around it so you can actually set a Minicon on there. We know it's not going to come with one because, you know, budget and all that, but it's at least nice to know he can actually be compatible with one should they release a brand new long arm, or whether they actually, if you happen to have the old one lying around, it's compatible with the new one, which is nice. What surprises me is the fact that it looks like he still has the hidden spot for his gun, which means he probably is carrying a fairly large backpack in order to accommodate that, and that is pretty typical and at this point traditional of Armada Red Alert. But I'm interested in the fact that they've actually retained that element of the gimmick. I guess they retain the Axel Zuka, so I guess that's not a huge surprise. But no, so far, like, obviously it's just a vehicle mode shot. We don't have anything to go off of beyond that. Yeah, it's not a bad start so far. We have another prototype to look at. Okay, so last week we looked at last week or the week before, I'm losing track of time. Voyager Prima from Age of the Primes. That was just a that's just a one-color prototype like we had just seen with Red Alert. This actually is painted, so now we actually get an idea of the color scheme on this. And it does look like it's going to harken back to Prima's original artwork that we had seen ages ago. Not a bad looking figure. Obviously, for whatever dumb reasons, they are still sans head. And I hate that they're doing that, but it's what leakers do sometimes, so okay, whatever. Nice to see the shoulders are in a different configuration this time, too. I like them better up there. That still doesn't look exactly like how they would be arranged, but it does look nicer. It does look nicer than they were before. And this time, we actually got a little bit more. We get a little bit more idea of what this toy is doing. For instance, the chest actually opens up and there is a spot where a matrix can plug in. Prima, in the original fiction, his whole, like, Star Saber artifact also contained the Matrix of Leadership in its hilt. So he is supposed to be the original Matrix bearer. Nice to see that that is actually going to be a thing the toy can do. There you see, there's how it works. And then, yeah, they actually transformed it, so we have a look at the actual truck mode, if I can get a good shot of it. Here's just nice clean. I like clean. Good look at the front. There's a little bit better of a shot. Yeah, so it is a very Cybertronian truck. Or like a very flat van. Honestly, what it reminds me of is the Lunar Cruiser Optimus Prime. Like the one that Takara did. It kind of gives me that vibe, which is kind of fascinating. It's an interesting looking vehicle. Like, what's interesting to me is one of the things that I considered when looking at, like, what would they do with, like, the primes what would you ever remold him into? Because we know Hasbro always has, 2 or 3 remolds in mind anytime they make a brand new mold these days. It doesn't seem like the case. I'm sure there's something you could turn him into, but it's a very different shape of vehicle. So I'm really interested to see what they actually come up with for that. No, it looks like the primes are going to be very different and interesting, which is what I would really want out of them. So that's nice to see, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing more of them. This is cool. Stop taking the head off. I want to see what his head looks like. We got a little bit more. So, in-hand images of the brand new Studio Series Bumblebee from the Bumblebee movie. These are heavily retooled takes on the original Bumblebee toy that was made for Studio Series for that movie. The proportions are nicer. The body has been cleaned up a lot. It definitely looks a lot more like he did in the movie. I still think there's a little bit more of the original, like, Michael Bay style in there that I like, especially like the door wings. Now, I have seen photos. I will keep saying this every single time we talk about this toy. I have seen those door wings fold down a lot more than that in other photos to hide away a little bit better. I would really like to see an official photographer do that and actually show you that, yeah, that's a capable thing, so you can get him to look more like he did in that movie. Regardless, yeah, I mean, it's nice just to know that, they can still do a Volkswagen Bumblebee. But also, yeah, it is just a better looking version of that toy. I was really disappointed with the first run. I don't know if I'll pick it up, but it's nice to know we actually do have a better option on the way from Hasbro. We also have this on the way from Hasbro. So these are the official photos for War for Cybertron, or Gamer Edition, I should say, Ironhide. The Ratchet just came out, and I think the first thought in my head when I looked at that toy, and especially when I experienced it in hand, was this will convey so much better as Ironhide. Like, this toy is just going to look better in gunmetal and red, and I really think it does. I do think the toy itself is okay. I think it's just like a lot of the other Gamer Edition figures that have been coming out since Prime. It's okay. It's not out of the park, but it's okay. And yeah, he definitely feels okay. But I do like it better in the red. He looks a lot more solid, looks a lot more like a war is actually going on. I'm not sure about that big hunk of gray in the middle. I will admit I have not seen his vehicle mode in a long time, so I'm not sure how accurate that is. Doesn't look like it's supposed to be there, but whatever. And yeah, there's the box. It's, again, the Studio Series packaging that we're getting soon is a very, very nice change up. I like how it looks. Yeah, it's an okay mold. It's an okay figure. And yeah, again, it just looks better in the red. So I'm happy we get to see that. I'm looking forward to in-hand images so we can get some comparisons and see. Because these are always, like, cleaned up and washed out from camera lights and all that. I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like in hand from someone who isn't trying to take a professional photo. So we can really get a look at what it's like. Alright, are we ready for rumor time? Let's go into rumor time. Lego Soundwave is apparently going to be a thing in 2025. I want to say, I don't remember when I said it. It's probably been a while now, the last time we talked about any Lego Transformer. I think I mentioned that Soundwave is one of those where I've always felt like he's far more likely than even Starscream or Megatron. I want to say at some point I predicted that he would be getting a Lego set before Megatron and Starscream, just because he is so much easier to do in that shape and design. Like, look at him. He's a blocky guy, and he's going to turn into a block. So, of course, he's going to be easier to convey as Lego. So, cool to see that he's getting the honors from Lego. Cool to see that the Transformer Lego is continuing. Because, of course, Optimus apparently did very well for them. Looks like Bumblebee's doing pretty well for them. This is all we have, by the way. This is how you get your Lego leaks. Is it just someone finds out something, and because Lego is very stern about their leaks, this is as close as you get. It's usually just someone saying, hey, yeah, that's happening. The question here, does he come with cassettes? Now, don't get me wrong. He will come with cassettes no matter what. The question is, will they actually transform? And I'm gonna make the guess now. My guess is he is most likely just going to get Laserbeak, and the Laserbeak will transform. Because I think that's the only one of his cassettes that is actually going to be simple enough to convey that way. Rumble maybe, but you're not going. But Laserbeak is too like synonymous with Soundwave. He has to have at least one. And if it's gonna only be one, it's gonna be Laserbeak. And I think that's gonna be an easier one for Lego to convey out of brick than like Ravage. So that would be my guess. That's the bold prediction. At the very least, you are going to get brick-built cassettes that you can swap in and out. They might not transform, though, so be prepared. It's not going to replace your Soundwave experience because, frankly, Hasbro doesn't want it to. But it will at least approximate something. Alright, let's see what the other companies are doing with the Transformer license. So, Mdlx showed off the official images for their Coronation Starscream. We've seen them do these for, we've been looking at these photos for a bit, and it is still an incredibly impressive and well-sculpted toy. He looks really, really cool. I do like the soft goods cape with the wiring. It lets you get some really dynamic shots with it. That looks super cool. Really like how he looks. Yeah, there we go, without the kit. So yeah, he can go without the pylons and the crown as well, of course. He's got a Megatron gun, because of course he's got a Megatron gun. I love that he has enough flexibility to do this. That's actually a really cool shot. Okay, give you credit, and give you credit, 3-0. That's a really good shot. That's a really good piece of articulation to get out of Starscream. Nice number of accessories too. I like how much he comes with. Mdlx, I've only gotten one or two, so not one I normally go for, but it's gonna be a really nice Starscream for someone who really likes that stylized look. Here's Aldi producing their take on these little Transformer kits of theirs. See, this is the Alpha Action Elite series, which they have shown off for the first time. This is Wave 1. We see Starscream as well. These are actually really well done, like cartoon accurate designs. Like, this feels more like what Transformers Red was supposed to be and didn't happen. These actually look like the part. We have a Jazz looking good, Soundwave with Laserbeak, like I said. We've got a Cliff Jumper with the bazooka, because of course he's always going to come with a bazooka now. Kickback is an interesting one for Wave 1. Of course, I guess that gives them room and saves back some of the major characters. It also promises 2 more waves at least. And then RC, we throw in 1 female, the only female they can throw in, and until they do Elita 1 inevitably, because everyone's doing Elita 1 now. But yeah, it's a nice wave to start off with. Like, you get some of your year 1 big names. You hold off enough to where no Bumblebee yet, no Megatron yet. Those will be your wave 2s, and then just a little bit of season 2, a little bit of season 3. It's a nice blend. So let's see. Do I have any other info on these? Okay, about 13 centimeters tall. Jazz is 11 centimeters tall, so they're all scaled. They are blind boxed, so these aren't going to be that's not 6-inch scale, but it's it's still going to be decent enough. And that's not it from them. They showed off some chase figures that will also be in these blind boxes. There's going to be a toy accurate Optimus Prime with more muted dark colors, the yellow eyes, and sticker details you will have to apply yourself, which is a cute little touch. He looks good. That's an interesting way of doing a chase version of Optimus. It's a clever idea. And then you have Sunstorm. They're doing a Sunstorm. It's a translucent plastic Sunstorm. And while yes, translucent plastic terrifies me, there's a couple of things here that give me a little bit more confidence. Number one, they're avoiding using it for any ball sockets. Do you see that they actually have inlays, insets on the shoulders that are actually solid plastic? Good. Good. So at least you know what you're doing there. But also, like, I can admit when it just looks really, really nice. This looks really, really nice. Like, Sunstorm is such a cool idea to use as a character for translucent plastic. Like, just conveys that, like, the radiation energy he's supposed to give off. Really, really nice. So, good luck. Good luck. You will need it. Chases are annoying, but they are out there, so we'll see. People will get it. It might be very rare. We don't know. Does it give me? Doesn't give me? Let's see. Yeah, it just says chase figures. It doesn't say like the ratios are going to be. Let's see. Yeah, and then one more shot of the Optimus showing off posability. That's actually decently sized. That's actually like, okay, never mind. It's actually pretty big for a blind box. That actually might replace Transformers Red quite well. All right, let's move on to Yellow Park, because they also had a translucent exclusive on the way. So for Cybertron Con 2024, they're doing their AMK Pro version of Optimus Prime in translucent plastic. I'm not entirely sure why. It's not a character I associate with translucent plastic. I guess Season 3 Ghost Optimus from Five Faces of Darkness. However you want to imagine it, but it doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad. Hopefully, you know, it's made of like really good quality plastic, so nothing happens to it. But yeah, this is a good figure. It's a really good figure, so like it's not a bad choice. It's not a bad choice for an exclusive. Just a little bit odd. Just a little bit odd. So, do you remember the Eternal War mobile game we talked about recently? So, to promote it a little bit, they put out the CAD models for their Optimus Prime and Megatron, so we get some nice, good looks at how they are designed. And it's a beefy Optimus Prime. He is a lot thicker than he normally is. Yeah, it's a pretty cool design. It's not going overboard with the Greeble, but it's keeping it interesting. Yep. And little bits of info all the way around: optic sensors, antenna, matrix of leadership, etc., etc. And then if we look at Megatron again, we've got a big heavy take on G1 Megatron. Yes, he's a tank. Yes, he's a tank. Let it go. It's not a bad. It is, again, it's a pretty good design, very beefy design. But again, I don't mind it. It looks good. I'm still waiting to hear more about Transformers Eternal War. All I know is, it's like it's an AFK mobile game. We'll see how that goes. I wouldn't mind having an AFK game on my phone, so hopefully it turns out good. So, the company Killer Body is doing a wearable Transformers Optimus Prime helmet. And this one is fascinating to me. So obviously it's very stylized and very heavily detailed, but also you can attach parts on your own, because a lot of this is magnetic. A lot of the panels are magnetically attached so that you can customize the look. You can tear it down. You can have just like the bare head if you want it there, or you just want to open it up and take a look at the added details. Interesting idea. I do like me some magnet tricks. It's a fascinating design. It's a really cool look to this. Let's see. I don't think we have any kind of price on it or anything, but if it's like magnetically connected, 15 magnet assembly plates to achieve a helmet and double armor, which is like the 2 layers of it. Yeah, wearable, removable armor helmet. Yeah, it looks cool. It looks cool. I have no idea if this is going to be available to anyone in the U.S., but it's a very neat piece. I will give it that. Fig Pin, announcing their Mystery Series 1 enamel pins for Transformers. I prefer these as Fig Pins over those gigantic character pins, because like I don't know where you would ever use those outside of maybe a backpack at a con. This is normal sized pin. Like this is much nicer. This is fine. I can imagine these are much easier to use. So you see we do have a pretty decent assortment for the first series. We have commons, rares, super rares, and then the hyper rare Megatron. Yeah, so, yeah, it looks like the commons are still some popular characters, but, like, some of the, like, uncommons and rares are going to be, like, glitter. Megatron as a hyper rare is interesting to me. Because, like, if you want both characters, you want Optimus and Megatron both, yeah, like, one's a common, one's not. Good luck. I'm not happy with that distribution. I'm not happy with, like, a really rare tier being like a major character a lot of people would want. I understand that's the appeal and draw of that, so there would be like rare versions, but make it a repaint. Make it like, you got Prowl right there. Make it Blue Streak. You got Starscream. You know, make it Thundercracker or something. Like, you don't need to make it a main character. That just seems like you're out to rip people off, you know, going and hunting for the chase piece. It's not nice. It's not a nice way to do things. They are nicer designs. I will give them that. I have very, very big doubts about like how they are distributing and spreading these around. Or just make them gold. Yeah, just make a gold one. Make the chase ones gold. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, like you don't need to do this. Don't do this. This is bad, Figpin. Don't make them rare. Don't make the main characters rare. And to finish us off, one of the oddest ones of the week. So, this is from Culture Fly, and this is a Book Nook. So, if you've not seen one of these, because I hadn't seen these before, the idea behind this is that it is a statuette that you put between the books on your bookshelf in order to either organize them or just to add a little bit of display in between your lacking book collection. My only concern with this is, like, I'd really like it to be flush to the back of the bookshelf, which doesn't seem like it's deep enough for that. It's got to sit at the edge of the front of the books. Okay, but whatever. It serves its purpose. It's like a weird Optimus Prime coming out of your bookshelf to shoot something in the air. Okay, I will. Whatever. It's a very odd piece, but it's not one that was previously announced or anything. So you can just go pick this up right now. It was found at a store. Who knows? Someone out there might need an Optimus Prime sticking out of their book collection. But that's going to be it for me. That's your news roundup for the week. Everything we're talking about. So, thank you everyone for watching. I will see you next time.
Analysis complete. Adapting translators to local language.
Are you out there?